Hi, I'm Melissa, your free range psychic. Today is January 10th, 2021, and we are 10 days away from the inauguration of President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. I believe I did say in the last reading that it was going to be wild. It has been wild, unbelievable, and we're all still reeling from the shock of it. I have just a great depth of sadness for the desecration of our Capitol building, and what a terrifying ordeal our senators and congresspeople underwent, and they still went ahead and they completed the process. They were not stopped. I'm so proud of them. Now we are in a state of crisis in between because we don't know what the heck to do with our coup leader-in-chief, President, quote unquote, Trump. So we are going to have to deal with it, and people will step up. We want them to step up. They will step up. People have asked me continually, will there be justice? Well, we'll see in the reading. I'm doing the continuing saga of You're Fired. I called this one Inside Job. I use the Ciro Marchetti Gilded Tarot for this reading. It's a simple Celtic cross layout. I do a psychic tarot meeting. I ask my guides to show me the cards, and I do my best to interpret what they're telling me that they mean. There will be an oracle card for us at the end of the reading and the musical interlude that usually comes at the end of my videos. The Tower, of course. This is the domestic terrorist attack on our capital. This is Trump's army. I want to call it the Orange Cheeto Army. And this was the intent, and this was the result. And we watched it in real time. And this was the attempt to overturn the election. This was the attempt to stop the electoral certification, the electoral college certification process. And this was the attempt to install Trump as our de facto dictator. And we must know that behind it all, Putin. Did you know that there were Russian operatives in that crowd? I remember somebody talking about how the police arrested one of these guys and they needed a Russian interpreter because they couldn't speak English. So they were seated in there. There were so many factors seated in, or I want to say groups, seated into this army of thugs. I can't even find a word for them because we know that they desecrated that building in the vilest ways you can possibly think. And not just by bringing a Confederate flag in, but by the literal act that might define that to us. We don't know so much. And it will be discovered and discovered and discovered. It's shocking, beyond imaginable what happened and who was involved. This is Orange Cheeto himself. This was his job, his hit job. He arranged it, he instigated it, and his administration, I'm going to say that straight out, was involved with this. This is what my guides show me. And it's coming out more and more, right? The RNC, an arm of the RNC, actually made robocalls to get people up there. Michigan legislators of the GOP, 2 of them organized buses. 2 of them, as far as I know, I'm sure quite a few of them were involved, but 2 of the leaders actually organized busloads of the Proud Boys and the Oath Keepers, or whoever was a part of this group from Michigan to go on down there, and they themselves were there at the rally. It was the same in the other states also. Clarence Thomas, his wife, organized buses to go down. They organized fundraising for this event. You can't help but believe that the majority of the GOP must have known about it, especially people like Matt Gaetz and Jim Jordan and Cruz and Holly being spokespeople of it. McCarthy, who didn't know? That is really the question. Who of the GOP did not know that this was going down and did not help in some way, even if it was just by keeping their mouth shut, that this was going on? And we see this on every level, right? We see it on the level of the Capitol Police, who were obviously called to stand down and ill-equipped and with limited numbers specifically for that day, to allow these ones to come in, or the ones who didn't know about it were overwhelmed. The police who didn't know about it, because obviously there were police who didn't know this was going to happen, overwhelmed. I've read an article about the black police officers there and what they felt, the betrayal they felt by their fellow officers, the ones above, that this was allowed to happen, and the threat they were under. I'll post that article if I can remember it so that you can read it. It's so heartbreaking. It makes you so angry. We wondered, why did Trump replace, those key cabinet members at the last moment? Why did Barr leave to put people in who were going to be part of this? Either they were going to not be there at the time, or they were not going to follow through on their end of protecting the Capitol, or even showing up as part of the darn thing. There were police officers who were part of the invaders, who were part of that group. There were Congress people. There may have been senators. So this was a planned coup. It was planned for quite a while. And my belief, and I asked my guides, I say take it with a grain of salt, because this is alleged, but I believe that Mike Pompeo, when he did his little world tour, and nobody knew quite why he was doing what he was doing, it was pretty secretive. I believe he was going to world leaders and saying, look, if we had this coup, would you be okay with it? Would you back us up? That's what he was trying to find out. And that's why he said, at the time he was asked, will there be a peaceful transference of power? He said, yes, we will have a peaceful transference of power to the next Trump administration, because he damn well knew what was going to happen, or what he wanted to happen, and he was going to be part of it. My question is, if this had happened and it had been successful, how many of the GOP would have been fine with it and would have gone along with it and would have participated? And it's scary to think about that answer, because it's probably the majority of them. In the past, Knight of Swords, this was the attack on the election, constant attack on the election, all the misinformation, the riling up of the base to get them to become these soldiers at arms, to volunteer or to be paid. I believe they were paid mercenaries also in this disparate group of traitors and criminals that to get on their buses or get in their cars or their RVs or whatever and come on down and let's attack the Capitol and let's hang Mike Pence and kill Nancy Pelosi. however they had planned to kill her. Those zip ties, right? We all saw the zip ties. And the noose out on the Capitol grounds. Below, this is the GOP. I was just talking about this card. Complicit. Complicit in the Tower. Still asking, let's for leniency, for healing. Oh, let's not impeach this president. Let's just move on. This is Holly. This is Cruz and Jordan and Gates and whomever, the GOP, all involved with Trump's failed coup. In the near future, justice. This is the beginning of impeachment. Now we all know that the papers have been drawn up and Pelosi is going to initiate the process on Monday. All the Republicans are saying, oh, no, please don't do this. Please don't do this. No, they're going to do it. And they've got to do it. Whether or not it succeeds, I believe that what might happen, I haven't asked my guides about this, I really probably should, but it may be possible that McConnell delays the process until Biden gets in, and then there's going to be impeachment and removal, even in absentia or in posthumously, because apparently a president can be impeached after the fact. And why would that be desirable? It would be desirable because he would lose his pension. He could never run for office again. And the many other things that go down with impeachment. And it would be the second impeachment in history in the same term of a president. The clarifying card, and usually I don't do reversals of cards, but this warranted that. The Ten of Pentacles, so this represented the election and the certification, and the clarification is the attempt to reverse this process and install Trump by coercion. Their desire was that Vice President Pence would say, yeah, what the heck, I'm going to throw all these electoral ballots out and I will announce Trump the president, forget about the people's will. So that was the intent of the coup. And the outcome card is death, and this continuously comes up. My guides say this is the death of Trump's attempt to unlawfully stay in power and install a banana republic. I like to call it an orange Cheeto republic. This is the death of the Trump administration. This is the death of his intent to install a white supremacist government and be a Putin-like leader who will either install his ilk or have his family run our country forever. And we would all be part of that Trump brand. But like everything else Trump touches, it dies. So I did ask my guides what was going to happen between now and the 20th, because I know we're scared. Obviously, this is the tip of the iceberg. So many people were involved, and the Republicans still are continuing to gin up the base. We watch Fox News, and they have not toned down their rhetoric. I think in Trump's mind and in these Republicans' mind, if we have any time left, then we're going to use it and we're going to somehow run out the clock. And they think that the presidency is defined now by the inauguration. And I believe that the parlor takes on this, what this QAnon spin is that, oh, no, there's going to be proof. And I think this is pretty funny. It comes from Italy. Somehow Italy was responsible for overturning our election. And this is going to come out any day now. And Trump never said he was going to concede. So there's still belief that Trump can be president. It's very scary. These people are dangerous. But my guides say that although there will be violence and for some reason they're showing me Kentucky. Maybe because the Oath Keepers are centralized there, and they're like the big kahunas in this domestic terrorist band of thugs. that something's going to go down there, and there might be a like a standoff with police and their leaders, and it may have something to do with the police wanting to arrest their leaders. Maybe a wacko or something, I don't know. But it's not going to be to the extent that's going to stop the inauguration. I know Biden still wants to have it on the steps of the Capitol, and I can understand why, because he wants to show that we are strong. Despite what happened, we are strong. But whatever happens and however the inauguration goes down, it will go down, and we will have a new president and vice president and a blue Senate, a blue Congress. Oh my God. Ossoff and Warnock won, where we should be really celebrating, because that was the big worry before this went down on the 6th. They did it. And even though by Georgia law, they may not have won it within the percentage of being safe for a recount, both Loeffler and Perdue said, no, we concede. So they don't have to, if that was going to be an issue, I really don't know, but if it was, they don't have to deal with that. And we will get rid of Mitch. See you, Mitch, hit the road, Jack. Don't you come back. Wow. So we need to celebrate this wonderful new America that we're coming into. The old ones having a hard time letting go, right? We just need to keep safe up until this inauguration, and then beyond that too. But I do believe that Merrick Garland and the FBI, they're going to be on it, because these guys didn't wear masks. So, or I should say men and women, the invaders, the terrorists, the insurgents, the insurrectionists, whatever you want to call them, the traitors, I think they're all going to be found, or the majority of them are going to be found. And the ones that are not obvious, I think they're going to be turned in, because I think there's going to be pretty big rewards for turning in these guys. And they messed with the federal government. Now that it's not going to be run by Trump, it's not looking good for them. The full weight of the lie is going to fall on them. So Trump, for sure, doubled down on any racism that was in this country, any systemic racism that became the norm. But that's not going to be the picture in the future. No, that's changing. And we're going to see that, I promise you. That doesn't mean we don't continue to need to fight. We have a midterm in 2 years. We've got to keep, we need to keep everything blue. We got to fight like hell. We got to keep ourselves in the game and not fall asleep. We got to stay woke. But I think that's part of being a living, conscious, breathing human being in the world. We don't have the luxury of falling asleep again. No way, because these guys are still around who want the Republicans to come back in the South to rise again and all of that. But we won the war. Now we got to continue to fight, these battles that will flare up. But we won the war, okay? Let's read the Oracle card. The card my guide chose was this card called Concealed Power from the Sufi Wisdom Oracle deck by Rassouli. Give birth to the wonder of revelation. That's what the small writing says on the bottom of the card. Concealed power. Creativity in the surrendered soul flows through us in the fullness of love and finds its expression in the awe and wonder of revelation before our eyes. So this Sufi poet's name is Jami. Jaami. Most of the challenges we undergo have the potential to introduce us to our innovative capabilities. When something out of the norm happens, creative people go inward and explore their inner resources to turn things around and put them into imaginative use. As we claim our creative power and embrace a new experience, we are open to the future that awaits us beyond the known, beyond certainty, beyond what has already been dreamed before. And this is concealed power. We are powerful. And we did it. We turned the America blue where it counts in the government. Oh my God. It's so frustrating with Trump because he doesn't give us time to enjoy these incredible victories. I want everybody to take a moment. I know it's chaos and insanity what's going on right now, but I want everybody to take a moment and celebrate our blue tsunami, our blue victory. Okay, we did it. Okay, saying that, I want to remind everybody I do personal readings and past life readings, anything in the present, including past and future. I'm a medium, and I love to introduce you to your guardian angels. Please take care. Sending you all my love. I will be back next week with, I'm hoping, the final segment of the You're Fired saga, but we will see. We will see.